Hey, this is James.
And this is Pat Contry.
Yes, and we're going to do a commentary on the Nintendo World Championships episode.
So, yeah, this one kind of started even a year before this one. I got a gray Nintendo World Championships cart. I remember asking James, "Hey James, do you want to do a video?" And you were a little hesitant at the time for doing it.
Yeah, I guess. I guess because the game doesn't really have much to talk about other than the history behind it. You know, like the game itself, it's essentially Super Mario Brothers and Tetris and Rad Racer. So there's not a lot to say about the game itself.
But then, a year later, I had the opportunity to get the gold version, and I came to you and said, "Hey, James, I got the gold one," and instantly you were like, "Hey, yeah, let's do a video." Like everything changed then.
Yeah, because when you got the gold one, it was like, okay, nobody's ever really filmed a gold cartridge and a gray cartridge together in a video, and it just felt like the time was right to do it. So it was really your idea. Like, if you hadn't have gotten that gold cartridge, this video would not have happened.
By the way, I liked your game list with a couple of fake games in there and your address on the box. Anyway, so I remember we threw around some ideas, one of which you had an idea to do almost like a Maltese Falcon sort of like noir thing where people are chasing after us for the gold cart. But then we decided that'd be too complicated. And in the original scriptment that I wrote, I had an idea was kind of supernatural where whoever owned both gold and gray cards would gain some sort of like weird game genie-like powers, almost like the Highlander. There could be only one. And so finally we settled on a much simpler idea.
Yeah, because I was really thinking about like doing it black and white, like the Humphrey Bogart version of Maltese Falcon, and with gangsters showing up at the nerd's lair trying to trace the game, and he gets tangled in this whole thing.
But I remember the whole time you're like, let's keep it simple. And you came up with that idea, and I was like, James, that's like the most complicated thing you can possibly imagine. There's going to be like driving scenes and car chases and like 20 people in this. I said, let's go back to simplicity. So basically, you pared down what I originally wrote, because what I originally wrote was like almost like Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, where they were challenging death, where we were playing like Battleship and board games, and then other Nintendo games, still finally playing the NWC against each other. So you basically condensed it down to something we could actually shoot.
Yeah, basically it was a combination of all these different ideas that both of us threw into the pot, and then we just kind of like, condensed it all down. And and I remember that idea that you had about like the two games combined to make the magic power and stuff. And
yeah. There was also like a Lord of the Rings thing I threw in originally, where it was like we were like Gollum and you were like choking me for the game, and little things like that, or Super Mecha Death Christ killing me in the video, and it was just way too complicated. So we came up with this simpler idea. There's the repro cards.
He's so disappointed. I love that.
It's funny how you wouldn't have opened the box until you were shooting the video. That's like my favorite part of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so, of course, all this part is just the plot device to get everything started. And actually, Pat did the gray cart video first. Like, that was your own video, and I had a cameo at the end.
You did, because you would never imagine that we would do the gold video. So it's like almost like a different continuity in my videos and yours. So I know some people were confused about why you have the gray cart in one, and then I steal it back in our Family Game Fun, this video we did later. So I always look at it as James stole the gray cart, not the nerd. That's how I always looked at it as.
Like I'm two people now.
Yeah, you're two people. That's how I looked at it, at least.
Yeah, and I was wearing like a black shirt. It wasn't really,
And there's my goofy self.
This part here is all Pat shot this at his place. So we were at, this was a real phone call, believe it or not. Like, well, I wasn't talking on that old phone, but I had my like iPhone down there on like speaker or whatever. So this conversation is actually happening across the country.
And I remember I shot extra stuff that unfortunately you didn't include. Like, I did a lot of really over the top goofy stuff. Like, I sang the balloon fight theme, I remember, and then Mike Tyson, I did something with him after that there. But it was important, I thought, that because your viewers didn't know who I am, to establish who this really weird collector was, to put these shots in.
So it went on a long time. Like, like originally Pat like showed the swimmies more and did all kinds of things, but it just went on really long, so I had to chop it up. But it's pretty interesting. Collecting like the way we do, I guess, is kind of like show and tell almost, where like that demo unit, I never even heard of that until you started doing videos with it. So
there's the fake excitement. Like, oh no, it's fake.
Yeah.
It's true. And I actually did a whole shot where I actually showed the gray cart. I remember it took me forever to set up, and I actually dropped the cart shooting it, and you didn't even use that shot. I just
wanted to hold it off.
That was
funny.
Yeah,
I just wanted to hold it off until
till the reveal.
When the nerd sees it. Yeah.
The seal of approval, disapproval, that's a cool thing. And I show up here, and all of a sudden my hair's done, and this is like almost like how I transform in my videos. And this is like the first time one of your videos, at least for years, where you actually had like a real conversation with a real person, which I thought was interesting. And that's one of the reasons why I thought it was a cool idea, because usually it's just you or a character in a costume. Now you're actually talking to a somewhat real person, so it's a little bit different side, of the nerd character that you haven't really seen before.
Yeah, exactly.
Pong set.
The Pong set.
It's amazing, all this stuff you find.
Now we had a much longer conversation here originally as well, where we go back and forth. We did a little Curb Your Enthusiasm, little thing where he doesn't believe me, and we kind of like look each other up and down. And there was an extended cut. I was fighting to keep some more of this in. I really was.
Yeah. I think a lot of that you can see in the outtakes on this DVD.
Yeah, there's a good amount in the outtakes that was not included. Maybe someone could edit together a phantom edit version where they throw in that game.
So how did you feel when you first got the gray cart in your hands?
It was like heart palpitations, and I was like, I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't. But what was wrong, what was bad about it was that I didn't actually buy it for like a few weeks. There was another person interested.
That face. Not to interrupt you, that face you made just there, that's one of my favorite parts.
Oh, anyway. Yeah, it's fake. I spent thousands of dollars.
If you freeze that smile you made, like that's like, it's just infinitely funny. So go on.
The combat thing, I remember we came up with this on the spot almost about combat, about doing the combat thing, because you said something about the combat line, and I was like, James, say combat, but keep saying it.
Combat.
And you're like, okay, and then it was just the funniest thing.
The tanks.
And I'm like,
there was a lot of ad-libbing that went on in this.
There was.
And a lot of that ad-libbing doesn't usually go on in the nerd episodes, because it's usually, like Pat said, it's just me, and I'm inside my head most of the time. It's just, inside my own head, so...
this was a lot of ad-libbing here with me going in the box. I didn't know what games you had in the box originally.
Yeah, that's right.
Good old plain old golf. And you cut out a lot of these too. I talked about, I think, 8 or 9 games at one point. And what was like Dragon Fighter with the label ripped off or something?
Yeah, I wanted to use that too, but it went on for a while, so,
And what's this? More
this
games
is my
underneath?
favorite line here.
Well, let's see what else we have in this treasure trove of games.
Treasure trove.
Oh, yeah. We got spots here.
And the nerd is such an idiot for not looking in that box, because, whoever...
And here's a moment we actually, you wanted me to see the cart right away, and I didn't, and then notice it like this.
Yeah.
And then put it back like, what? Nothing.
What was that game you just had? Oh, that was just Legend of Zelda.
Legend of my ass.
That got a huge reaction when we showed it at PAX East.
Yeah, this whole
or PAX Prime. People were like, oh my god. And we didn't realize the reaction until we saw the reaction in person. Because that was the first time me and James watched the video together.
Yeah.
And to see the reaction, the crowd was like going out of their minds for this part.
No, don't touch it. That wasn't
Yeah.
Look at that effect he did with the glowing on there, just the reflection.
Yeah, exactly. Like I put a lot of filters on it to make it glow.
And our Spinal Tap reference and my little eyeball.
The Spinal Tap reference. Yeah.
This is probably one of my favorite moments here, because it's the first time you see the nerd really happy in a video, overjoyed.
Yeah.
Look, he's hyperventilating.
Gold card.
It's
just the most sought after video game on the
And then we laugh like little girls.
Yeah. It's right there. It's mine. It's all mine. No.
Now here comes the conniving.
Box. You traded me for it. I accepted.
No, you didn't.
I like when we kind of filmed ourselves separately here, so we had scripted lines where it was just very much just do the lines by the script.
Yeah.
And we would each ad-lib things, and sometimes we didn't really know what the other person was actually going to say. So I do this weird little like quasi like goat sound or something, and then it cuts to you. And I don't think we knew at the time that I was going to do that. So when it cuts to you,
I don't think we wrote that in.
Yeah. So you have this very like you'd almost expect you to be like okay, like it was really weird, but instead you kind of have this like. It actually works better this way, where it's very subdued.
Your face there, you're like, Rah! And then you're normal again.
Glued it on with glue.
With glue.
And they glued it on with glue.
Yeah.
Because it's true. That's what the gold carts
Yeah,
look like.
it was laser printed, and they just stuck it on with glue. Yeah, in my face.
Here comes.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah, okay. Now, this part was in the original scriptman I remember I wrote. We always wanted to do like a good, bad, and the ugly sort of thing where we kind of have like a stare down. Actually, that's coming a bit. But now we have the look. I love that look over the shoulder. I'm like, okay. And then the look. It took us forever to shoot these shots, by the way. And this is the first thing. This is my absolute favorite part of the entire video is this, by the way. And this is the first thing we actually shot. And the stand took us an hour to set up. That stand was resting on a bunch of you had a bunch of like paint cans. And here's me over the top in a suit, and that's your jacket and tie. You only had one tie at your place, I remember.
Yeah, that's right. It was a velvet suit too. And I like here, like now the nerd goes into his fantasy, and
nothing.
His fantasy is just putting the games. Because if you think about it, the idea of collecting is kind of funny in a way because. Yeah. You're mostly do it to show it off sometimes, but you're mostly doing it for yourself.
I just like that my hair is done nicely here in this shot. my maniacal laugh.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, look at that.
Because that's what you do. You collect stuff and it's just for you to look at.
My grimace.
Yeah.
And my big smile.
Oh, and there was no other camera operator, so this was basically Pat filming me and me filming Pat.
You remember you had me do like a 360 of you or something, and it just was never used. We shot way so much footage for this one part.
Yeah.
We're gonna play some Nintendo World Champions.
This was probably like probably an 8-hour day, I'd say.
It was
filming.
long. It was very long. I had to drive back that night too. Now this part we had a much longer conversation too about the Nintoaster, I remember, and you cut it down.
Yeah, that's true.
It was like a back and forth about how like I was like questioning what this object was.
Expensive games into a goddamn English muffin.
Goddamn.
Well, I mean, with all seriousness, we should.
The nerd actually saying "for all seriousness" is to me funny. Just in all seriousness, like the nerd would ever say that. I put him up.
And we play the reproduction cartridge.
Yeah, which is it tells you that you don't need to buy the expensive ones. That's the joke in of itself.
Yeah, we had a long it is. We had a long conversation like which one should we play? Should we play the gold one or the gray one? And then it's like, well, how about the reproduction?
And this is the one thing we always question about. Why wouldn't the nerd know about these games prior? Like, if he's a nerd, he should know what's on these games. So we kind of just ignored that. We kind of ignored that aspect of you not knowing and being surprised. What? It's just Super Mario Brothers, Tetris, and Rat Racer? We just kind of ran with it.
Yeah, it was just another plot device to get the nerd to break the game. Because it's funny, the nerd usually ends his reviews with breaking a game. I mean,
and I'm like, I'm kind of incredulous in that shot that you don't know what's on the game card. It's like, it's real quick, but that was what I was going. We were like, what? That's it. It's Rat Racer.
Yeah, I like that too. Like a lot of this was ad-lib too. I like.
This is ad-lib.
Yeah, I like that too. Like the car, like you could buy a real car and you're like, well, it wouldn't be a racer as rad as this.
Now this part you cut out. This is also stuff in the extras where I taunt you about your old videos, and it was like I made fun of you, Top Gun, Ninja Turtles, and again, it didn't just fit for time.
Yeah, and you can see that in the outtakes as well.
Then like Action 2, I was like, oh, Action 2, that's an awful game.
They actually have the whole game. That's it. Okay, that's your score. I'm going to annihilate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, like the one about like Jaws or something. Like it's fun for the whole family.
Oh, that's right. And now you didn't show me actually playing through it and doing it on level 1-1 and getting the 50 coins. That's okay.
Playing one of those other ones,
yeah.
It'd be the same thing. So what's the point? Just to play on an overly priced game?
This is where I kind of chastise you on the importance.
Games are a part of Nintendo and video game history. They are part of our culture.
This is the only argument for actually paying that much for a game.
Our society.
By the way, my nice Google 13 shirt the whole time that no one really
I'm
noticed.
gonna win.
Oh, yeah.
I'm serious. This game is a piece of shit.
Yeah, first I
Now
thought it
this,
was like Ninja
now
Gaiden
this was
or
always the
something.
plan. We always wanted to destroy at least one of the carts at the end of this video.
Yeah,
I'm gonna win.
But we,
which was, you know, basically the gray one was a Top Gun cartridge that we,
yes.
um,
That
and
you
the-
converted that one. I converted as a Legend of Zelda card for the gold one. And we quadruple checked that these were the fake ones that we were gonna smash.
yeah, because they looked so, like, aside from the dip switches, they looked so identical
From
to the,
4 or 5 feet away, you couldn't tell the difference. You honestly couldn't.
Yeah, and what's funny is that the fake ones looked better than the
Yes.
real ones because they were freshly printed.
Yes.
Like
Look-
the
look at me,
label
my
wasn't
face.
all. Yeah.
And you're like,
I remember this one was a lot of just like, how would you react if this happened? So a lot of this, I just let you do whatever
Yeah.
you do.
yeah, this is sort of like you wrote something. I kind of just said, okay, this is how I think I'd really do it in my videos. It'd be like this. Now, originally, I just wanted to destroy the gold one and not the gray one. We had sort of difference in opinion on the actual ending, but we settled on your ending where both are just destroyed. Mine was a little more subtle, where we kind of the gold one's destroyed. I kind of tossed the gray one because it's worthless without the gold, and we sort of just play a game. but you want to have the there you go, the choke. That's what you wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun making this. It was a long day, and
Yeah.
like I said, it was a different video compared to a lot of your other videos. So I thought it was a good opportunity, not just for me to be in one of your videos, but for you to kind of do something a little different.
Yeah, it was totally worth it.
And then now, in case people were wondering, most
Yeah.
of your fans don't watch your videos until the end, I think, because they always
I guess
question
they
if I
don't
really
watch
broke
the
it.
ending. Yeah. Cool. Awesome.
Well, thanks, Frames, for doing this with me and cool commentary.
Yeah.
And there we are.
And goodbye.